Good call, man. I guess. What I'm talking about. Hey, everybody! We're just here doing some epic time combined with Monster Day, and of course we're ready to go. We're on the ball. We're not waiting until the last minute to do anything, like get my phone out so I can share it. That was set up long ago because I'm a professional.
We
and we
are professionals.
Yeah, don't we look professional? We both have our show glasses on.
We do.
Yeah. And now if I can just get something open to share, I will be fine. So let me dial this in because this is the hardest part of me paying attention is doing this, and then I can just share it. And who knows, everybody might be denying this anyhow where I'm trying to share it to. So we'll see what's happening. But as you can see, we are not let's see. There we go. I am good. Now I can pay attention. As you can see, we are not at a famous site. We're at a campground site because to get all of us together at the same place at the same time and in a timely fashion, working everything and get Misty here, we had to meet in the middle. So they were at one side of the rally. We were at the other side of the rally, and the campground is right in the middle. And we want to get the grill going tonight. And I got steaks and chicken and all kinds of food to cook. And we got to cook it. So this works out perfect.
Perfectly.
How are you feeling today? And how are you better from your flu?
Yeah, I don't know. I got this bug. I don't know.
Yeah, the bug. That's a good way. We got the bug. The bug going on. A lot of people just had the bug. I saw them walking around the rally today, and you could just see like every third person strolling in with a little of that bug going on. And
I'm better.
Yeah, that's good.
Water, Gatorade.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we got Hydro over there. He's fully dressed for this show, so that was nice. And we even got Dylan here sitting on the trail. Is it working? I can't even see it.
I think it's working.
Yeah, but look at the Trail 70. He's pretty styling. So this is quite the show. It's pretty epic that we could get all these people together at the same time, covering the show. It's pretty awesome. I've been watching the riders all day. Some of them coming into the checkpoint. Some of them, long past the checkpoint. I did not look since we got back to the campground. So I do want to see. Oh, let me share it to the screen first. I like that. Stop sharing the screen. So that's awesome. One thing after another. It's much harder. I really was used to the big computer. Like it's so nice having a big massive computer at the rally. So that was pretty cool. But I do want to look because I know Yost was getting close to Rhode Island, and I thought that was pretty impressive. I don't think he's there quite yet, but he's getting very close because there's Warwick right there. And that means the checkpoint is right there. So he's going to be there tonight. So that's pretty badass. He's got, 3/4 of the way done. He's got one more checkpoint to get to, just a smooth, easy ride through 18,000 corners between this checkpoint and the finish line. So that's going to be pretty good. Let's see who's right on his tail because some people are starting to fall. Pee-wee is across, but he's across Connecticut, and English is out in Pennsylvania. I think he got some rest today, so I think he's going to be doing good. When the other group was in this area, I commented on it because I was just on a ride on that road, and the Little League World Series takes place pretty close to where he's at there, and it is just beautiful, hilly country, windy roads through old towns that, are just nice to ride through, but the speed limits aren't so hot, so that makes it a little tough. And some of the roads are hard to find. So there's a lot of wrong turns and what's marked, what's not marked, and good to go. So everybody's digging your dreads. You want to tell us a little story about that?
No story. I've had him actually for a while. So
yeah.
I don't know.
How long did it take to attach? I know Dylan didn't do it.
No, he didn't. It took about 6 hours, and I only have
6 hours. Who has 6 hours to dedicate to getting something attached to you?
Yeah, and about 2 months to get used to them. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm digging it too. They look good. So that is pretty nice.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. What else we got here? Checking the comments quick. Yep. I hope he does hit the checkpoint while we're live, so we can kind of, if it does happen, will somebody please give me a heads up and say, man, he's almost there. He's coming in, whatever. We'll zoom in on him and give him a little, virtual clap, a virtual yell, whatever the case is, because it's kind of cool that somebody makes a checkpoint. That's an awesome feeling to do that. And about now, this many days in, he's tired. Pee Wee, English, Mick, everybody I see there that's coming up on him, they're all tired. Bubba right there, Michael in the red, taking a break right now. He had a lot of trouble with his bike. He got it going, and now he's cranking around, and he's in the back of that pack. But as far as going, he's really been going. So it's been great. So I think it's pretty awesome. What do we got here from Tunes? The Tooth Fairy gave him $5. He woke up this morning and said, I got so much money. That's awesome. And to keep that the idea of $5 is so much money. Yeah. I don't know what age that fades, but it's coming very fast.
Yes.
You're not
telling him it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like the Tooth Fairy, he's going to be holding the Tooth Fairy hostage for more money later. So that part's pretty awesome. And it's so weird right now doing a show with Dylan sitting across from me, because I don't really see him. I usually just see, the thumb, and the thumb has a body to it. So that's pretty crazy. But we're pretty happy he's here, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, the dreads make you look better than Riot. Yeah, I don't think it was the dreads. I think it's the face, the eyes, the cheek, the nose. Pretty much the entire setup makes you look better than Riot. That's pretty funny. Yeah, here's some. I lost so many teeth playing hockey. Like, hockey's a rough sport on your looks. Hockey players, if you're a vain guy, you don't want to play hockey. You want to get into tennis or something a little more on the lame side, because hockey's going to whoop up on you. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that's funny. It's like, what do I think about the marshals validating the routes, the riders, and such? I didn't know that this was news, to be perfectly honest. We've talked about this with the Mile Monsters and the riders for a hot minute. So I thought this was just everybody understood that there are going to be marshals checking the routes. So in past Hokahays, the route was there, and some people looked at it, some didn't. But there's always been a little controversy about, did they follow the route? Did they do this? Did they do that? And some people would say they didn't follow it, they did follow it, whatever. And as you see, it's very hard to follow every rider. I mean, I have some of my best friends out there. I couldn't tell you if they're on the route right now. If they're not on the route, I don't know anything about what they got going on. I know they're riding really hard, that I can say. So having this, what they're calling the marshals, to do this is going to be a group of individuals that are not associated with the riders, the riding. I don't know where they got them. I don't have any idea who they are, nor do I really care. And I think they're going to look at the top so many people. I don't know if it's, I really doubt they're going to do this with everybody that comes across, and maybe they will, but there's no need to tell somebody that took 26 days to come to a finish line that, oh, excuse me, but you missed 3 miles back in Pennsylvania, because that really doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, who's going to care? But if you're somebody who wants to stand on a pedestal as a champion, then it should be validated, and you should have followed a route. That's the hardest part to do, is, follow what you're supposed to do and do everything. You see some of these people, who are doing it, and, Iceman missed a big chunk. Down the road, he realized his mileage isn't adding up. It isn't like making sense. And it was very, very tricky. I actually saw what they were talking about, and I was like, damn, that is tricky. But the mind can play tricks on you. You're not doing something, and you may or may not catch it. And I know there's people that didn't catch some things, and that's fine. Big Balls Matt realized he missed something, realized he made the same mistake Iceman made. And when he replayed that in his brain and looked at an atlas, he knew how the mistake was made. And I can't talk about it because there's people doing it. I saw what they did and how, and it was just pretty cool, that it was. So they had to go back, and Big Balls Matt literally went around Lake Michigan to fix it. So I don't think that ignoring the fact that somebody else didn't can be, there's no credibility in a ride if you have a course and you don't take it. So they have to have it validated at least for the top 20 riders or a certain time or anything like that. You shouldn't be able to be there if you didn't. And it's happened in the past where somebody did not ride the ride. I know that for a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. People rode by my house in 2020, and my house was not anywhere on the course. This year, if somebody rode by my house, I'd be like, well, they're off a little bit, because they actually went through New Jersey. But in 2020, we didn't go through New Jersey. So there'd be no reason why anybody be in my town in New Jersey. So, but there was nobody to go back and validate it and look at it and say, this is not right. You made a mistake and you're out, and it's really great. And I like to see guys like Big Balls Matt, that just owns it, and here's a guy who's maybe his interest is to go and win the thing. I have no idea. I didn't talk to Big Balls before that, and I can't wait to talk to him afterwards, but I have no idea what his intentions were. But he was a long ways past his mistake, and he went all the way around an entire Great Lake. Not a little lake, not a pretty big lake, but a great lake to go around. And I tell you what, if nothing else comes out of this for Big Balls Matt, that's a hell of a story to say. Like, yeah, I was in the 2026 okay, and I did an extra lap around Lake Michigan. Like, no matter what place he is, nobody's going to care because everybody's going to be like, oh, you're the dude that went around Lake Michigan. So his mistake will make him famous. And I think that's pretty cool. So, they some go back, some don't, some don't know you made a mistake. There's some parts of this route that are so tricky, so complicated that things may add up. And when I say add up, you have directions. Your directions tell you at 100 miles, less than 50 miles, more than 35, whatever the case is, that's how it works out. So if you, think you're doing something wrong, the next mileage doesn't add up. And, somebody said, how did he find his mistake? I'm not 100% sure, but how I found my mistakes in past events, I would pull over and start when the math didn't add up. But the problem is what happened to me personally, and I can't speak for Big Balls Matt, but this is what happened to me. And I had a similar thing. I just didn't go on a Great Lake. I just had to go around a chunk of Florida. But the things were right, but they weren't adding up. My next directions were not at the miles they said, but I found the road. And then it ate at me. And I'm like, man, is something wrong? And then I pulled over and got an atlas and looked at an atlas and thought, shit, I got to do this. This is why. So I went back and, got back on track, did the right mileage, and then it all made sense. And all of a sudden it comes back to you, you're like, this is why I thought it was at 7 miles, and I'm sure they're doing the same thing that everybody does. They think the directions are wrong. Oh, the directions are wrong because this is working out at a different math. And I can't speak for everybody. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm assuming because that is so common. But I don't know. All I know is he had the balls to go back and fix it. And that's more than I can say for a lot of people. He is, doing an incredible job. And all those extra miles, he's still able to keep going. He's not the last guy in the back. He's trying to get back to where he was, even going around an extra lap. So when people ask how do you get into this, how do you get vetted, how do they know you're good enough, I'm not even sure what they do to vet people to see who's good enough to do this, who's not, who makes the cut, who doesn't. All I know is whatever Matt did, he clearly has the right stuff to do it, along with Yos, Pee Wee, English, Mick. They're just no-brainers of how good they are. Any one of those is going to be doing an awesome job. And you look at all these, I'm sorry, this is a little bit hard for me because I'm on a laptop instead of my desktop, but it is what it is. But this is the time that everybody's kind of teaming up with somebody. You're tired, you're beat up. This is a long time to be on the road, sleeping outside, the weather. You're getting your ass whooped by storms, sun. There's no real easy time in August. No matter what you're dealing with, it has a level of suck to it. You say, oh, it's a nice sunny day here. Yeah, nice sunny day, but the real feel is 108. It's 98 degrees. Like today in the Black Hills was actually a pretty nice day, not blazing hot. So it was a nice summer day. But I looked in Texas. I mean, these guys that are in West Texas, Oklahoma, it's just hot. And then you got nasty storms rolling through different areas. So to be on the road for this being the 10th consecutive day of doing this and not having the end right in sight. There's been other years where they're on the 10th consecutive day, but tomorrow morning people were coming into the finish line. So keep that in mind, that the Hokahe ended for some people in previous years tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, for the vast majority that went to, Homer, Alaska, that did that route, when it was Friday and Saturday, the 13th and the 14th day, it was incredibly packed with riders. It was crazy how many riders were there. And that's not going to be the case. When we get to day 13 and 14, you're going to see an incredible number of riders still on the road who can stay on the road. I really think 10 minutes from a checkpoint. Thank you, Amy. I'll just zoom in on him so we can see it and keep an eye on it and, virtually cheer him on, because I think it's important to kind of give him some props. But I think you're going to see a mass exodus of riders in the next few days. We talked about this yesterday, because they don't have the time off. And being the center of the ride, the middle checkpoint is also the finish line, which has never been the case in any Hokahe that I've ever been aware of. It might have happened some year I don't know. So, don't think that I'm the end all be all of information, that's for sure. But as far as I know, it hasn't happened. And a ride like this, Nancy, Yos, English, these people are going to be coming into the finish line. Roadrunner, Teeter, Dan, and Ren. So I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just going on memory here. They're all going to be coming into the finish line, and there's going to be other riders coming into the halfway point. That is going to be both cool and chaos. And I always thought it was so crazy that, I remember when Billy finished in 18, he just was a monster. And it reminds me of Yos here riding. But Billy Foltz in 18 rode like a beast. They just walked away, started pulling away from premier riders. And he was really just whooping butt. And it was both impressive to watch, intimidating to watch. But if the finish line would have been at a checkpoint, the halfway point, he would have pulled into a cheering crowd of 30 or 40, 50 people, because there was all of that, maybe 100 people. I don't even know. It wasn't 100, but I bet you 50 people hadn't been to the halfway point when he crossed the finish line. So they would have stayed, and, it would have just been like, damn, like, here comes Billy rolling in. I'm giving it my all. And some people are literally giving it 100% of, into it. And here would come Billy. So that could very well happen. And that's going to be a crazy sensation for both the riders, the fans, the guy or gal or both that come in first. And then you have, these other riders all there or coming in at the same time. Like Yos could literally cross the finish line, holding hands with some other rider, and that other rider is at the halfway point and he's done. And I think that's absolutely crazy to think how that is, and I think that would be pretty cool and to see. So, he's coming in. I don't know where the dealership is here, but we'll keep an eye on him and we'll keep talking. I got to keep that screen. Oops. Is he? Should really zoom in. He's whipping around. Like, I don't know where this goes, so I didn't pay any attention. So, and 800 to 900 miles a day for 10 to 12 days. Yeah, this is not the ride. And, you have to account for that. And some of these rides, and I'm just reading a comment here, to do this particular ride in this particular miles that I kind of guessed is going to be the case. And if you're guessing the miles and you're doing it like that, I'm guessing, you're going to have to do around 800 miles a day for 14 days to get in by the end of the 14th day. That would just be the nighttime of the 14th day. You might miss the party. You might have everything. And 800 miles for 14 days is another level of riding. And a lot of people think they can do that. A lot of people hope they can do that. But not a lot of people can do that. And it's tough. And it's not just the, your body, but you have to have a little bit of luck to it as well. You have to have the luck of your bike holding up, your body holding up. A lot has to go your way. And anybody that thinks they have a great run didn't have a little bit of Mother Nature, God, luck, whatever you call on your side, then your ego is pretty large if you think it's all just strictly skill, because you have to have some other things in there as well. So it looks like he is, watch me go the wrong way and miss the whole thing. So I don't know if I should be watching this, but I know that the dealership is around here somewhere, so it's not sure in Williams.
4 blocks from the checkpoint.
Yeah, he zoomed out too much. Oh, I recognize Walnut Street because we were laughing at some riders, but I won't call them out by name, but they do resemble a certain type of food everybody likes, and they have a an event for it in the spring in the Medicine Park, but I won't call him out by name, that's for sure. So I like that. But this is a common thing here, because now I see him turning his bike around. He just did a U-turn. And every time, like, I don't know the directions to get in here, but I do think it's kind of funny because every time we've zoomed in and watched somebody coming into this checkpoint, they're kind of like,
They don't know where to go.
yeah, the directions are a little bit off. So, we get these, crazy riders that are leading this thing. And even the best of the best, have trouble, finding things and doing things right. And, it's kind of fun.
Again.
Yep. So, like, and everybody's seen how good Yost is. So this is somebody that's pretty special. So that's pretty good. And they said Ocean City or Ocean State, Ocean City, whatever. So that's gonna be pretty good. And I can't wait to watch him, get out of here and get going on the next part. I hope that he is here and doesn't waste any time. I hope he is just gone. And, and that is not because I don't want to see him hanging out and chilling out and doing whatever, but I do want him to keep going and stay after it, not waste any time. So here's Harley Davidson right here. And it's fun to see somebody struggling. Like, he literally stopped his motorcycle to double check his map, double check his thing. And this is 3 blocks. But this is what it's about. You see all these roads, they all lead to Ocean State Harley, but that's not the case. And I could see if I could share their page, but I don't know if I can, but too late for that anyhow. So it's all good. But they're coming up right now and he's coming in. So this is the final, and it's going to be just a shade behind for us, how it works. This is delayed for us to see. So, and by the time it all gets aired and around, it works out perfect. So he's coming in right now. So how about we give him a round of applause? Hitting the checkpoint, nailing the checkpoint. Way to go, Yost. I probably have a sound effect on here, but Dylan's the guy that does that. And Dylan's sitting across from me drinking a Red Bull, a yellow Red Bull. What flavor is that? Piss?
Lemon.
Tropical.
Oh, tropical. All right. Welcome to Ocean State Harley Davidson.
Oh, he's done.
Yost. Yep. He shut it off. I'm sure he's got to sign in. I'm sure he's got to check in, and he's got to, get his things. And everybody remembers that dealership, how cool, they had it set up, but there he is. There's who's behind him in this group. And again, it's this group. I think that's pretty just different to see that, it's not everyone. So I would assume that he is in first place. That's what I go on a limb, because he is done with one complete, and he is, through to a checkpoint, and he got through a pretty tough leg all the way around Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. He went through the dump of Cleveland. So I think that's pretty awesome. So I would say that's your leader right there. And I would say that, we come down here to the other group. I think it's really going to be tight, but I would think that Nancy is probably a close second, maybe third. We're going to see when she gets, but I do not think that the last leg that Nancy has to do is going to be as hard as the last leg that Yost has to do. So I think she has a little bit of an advantage, and that, all works itself out. It's like when you watch a race, if you watch a motorcycle race at a track, they start people out at staggered lines, if you're on the inside or the outside. That's kind of what's happening here. Nancy already did what might be a little tougher. In my opinion, I'm thinking it's a little tougher. Well, she already did that. And now the other side, Yost has to do it. He's killing it so far, but he's far from done. He has another 3,000 miles to go. And those 3,000 miles are not going to be easy miles by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't think that Nancy's 11,500 miles that she has, or 3,500 miles that she has left, are going to be great, but I do think they're a touch easier than what Yost has to deal with, because she already did it. It's not like she has an advantage. She already dealt with the hard part. Now she has earned maybe a little bit easier. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if there's going to be a finisher only sign at the thing, but I think anybody that comes in to finish it, I would think there'll be a banner there to sign for anybody that finishes it. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you cross the finish line at Woodstock, you're going to get high fives and praise and all kinds of things. And you might think you've done a great job. You might think you did everything right. And then this marshal service they have, which is going to be 3 individuals that, validate your ride. When they validate your ride, it may be a total buzzkill for you. And they had said that they're going to announce the winners at the rendezvous, which, in my opinion, is a buzzkill. Like, these things should be validated as they went, because you would know right now if I'm just saying people who are on a screen, if somebody didn't do something 3, 4, or 5 days ago, then you can know that they're not in it. So these, in my opinion, should have been validated as they went. Like every checkpoint, the top 10 on each side, have those validated. So at the end, as they come in, you can watch the last 1,000 miles of the top 5 that are clean. And then when they get to the finish line, you'd be like, as they come in and, say Riot is riding and he missed 150 miles of a stretch, but I'm coming in to be the winner. Everybody's cheering me on. Well, instead of having the embarrassment of telling that, they should have somebody right up front and be like, nope, you're in this lane, and that's just the dark lane. And then you get told that, you missed this up in, Idaho or whatever, and you never made it up. So that's kind of and then let the people come in who they have watched validate it. But that's not how they chose to do it. And they're doing it a little different way. And it's going to be validated after the fact. And when they do that, I just think you could really have somebody get cheered on and who didn't make it. So there's Nancy right here, and she's not even 500 miles from the checkpoint. She is, not far at all, because it's right here. So that dealership is right there, and she's coming up on it hot right now. So she is not going to be far behind Yost right now. And in my opinion, like I said, I think this southern route is going to be easier. And that's why you saw these guys in the south get to the checkpoint halfway, way before this group of riders did. because the East Coast is a pain in the ass. You know, there's a reason why I can't wait to get out of it and go ride out west. Crazy roads, twisties, gnarly stuff, and it's just no thank you. But who knows? Like, the top 10 people on each side of this might have missed 100 miles, and they're all going to be, you know, booted by, and we might be sitting here talking about somebody that we're not even talking about. Your winner might be back here, you know. Soup might be actually in first place. You know, he's back here in roughly 15th for that side. Who knows? Maybe that's the first person that didn't do anything wrong and didn't, you know, do anything else, whatever they're checking, speeds, route, anything else. So it's kind of crazy, but I hope they're all clean, because that's just a bummer when that happens, you know. And Nancy today was just talking about, she met Hopper on the road, and, you know, she's raising money for Mile Monsters, and she wants to make sure one of the kids gets a track chair because she thought they were so cool to climb up in the dirt. And I don't know, I think Elfie'd probably like a chair like that at some point. You know, if he gets where he can't run around, right. I can see him like taking that chair and ball it up some hill. Alfie'd probably run over somebody. So maybe not, yeah, maybe not. Maybe Toons would be. Well, if Toons actually did run over Amy, so I don't know if that would be the best bet. So
maybe when he's a little older.
Toons on it.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Toons.
So we got Toons is one of the kids that we're riding for, and one of the kids we're trying to help out. And I don't even know. I've been so out of it as far as life goes, outside of this Hokahay and their rally, so I haven't even been following anything. Is anything going on, Toons?
Toons is starting school soon, and so he's getting ready for school, and that's about it with Toons.
It's so crazy how everybody starts school at different times. They start school and they you know, here, there, and then some start in September. But the Tooth Fairy came to Toons. I know that.
So he's rich now. So
yeah, he got $5.
His own Toons, so.
Yeah, $5, and he got a lot of money.
He's got
so
a lot of money.
That's pretty good. I want to know when that happens. But, you know, and Gavin, I was thinking about today because we had the movie playing in the booth, and so this is what our booth looked like. This is just a picture of our booth while it was going on, and it was kind of fun having the movie on. And here's just a little clip from it, but I thought it was kind of fun. I might have to start it over because but this is
so emotional.
Yeah, this is like just a 1-minute clip. I just happened to be walking by while I was playing, but there was a bunch of people stopping to see it. But here's just a clip of the movie and the booth we have promoting the Hokahay out at Sturgis.
I think it's whenever we were on the bikes leaving, Gavin was like, hey, Brad, I think the water's getting too close. Brad was like, yeah, it'll be fine, but I'm just going to take a leak, I'll let you know. Gets up, goes take a leak, walks 5 steps, touches the water, and says, we got to go. We got to get out of here. So that we did.
Anybody notice how young Snapshot looked in that? Like, it's been 3 years ago, and the kid's age is like 12 years. He went from being a child to being a man. So I don't know how that happened, but evidently since 2023, Snapshot's balls have dropped.
Oh, poor Snapshot.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Maybe the U.S. tour will get turned into a movie before you're 13. I don't know. Maybe not. We can just look at pictures. We'll see what happens. So that happens. But anyhow, that was a lot of fun. But the amount of people that have come up to us at the booth at the rally is insane.
That's awesome.
Coming up, talking about the Hokahay, talking about riders. Everybody knows a rider riding this. They have a friend, and because all of these riders are famous in their hometown, they are the shit. Anybody that signed up for the Hokahay, if you follow them back to their hometown, everybody knows their name because they ride in crazy amounts. Anybody left on this screen, you know, and I think now it's up to 75 riders, maybe 80 are out. I think it's going to be a lot more, and I think it's really going to be a lot more because of the halfway point is the checkpoint. So I really think that's going to get a lot of people to be like, you know what, I want to go back for the party. I'm going to go back and cheer on whoever is coming in and all the chaos. So I think it's going to be kind of fun to watch. And like I say, it's a wake up call for some people because, you know, these poor people have to get to work, and not everybody can just take all the time off in the world. So I don't know what happened. There it is. But there's the checkpoint right in there, and there's just a sea of people there. And there's not any chance that anybody hitting a checkpoint on day 10 is going to come into, you know, and do the other half then in 4 days. That's just not, that's asking way too much from any rider. It's not possible. So if anybody's watching this, man, please don't even make an attempt to, now you're going to decide to gun it and take stupid chances trying to make things happen that it's just not possible. So I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch. And I like the twist. You know, I didn't realize that the Marshall thing and validating routes was anything people didn't know about. So, you know, and I think you should have it validated again, you know, so I think that's pretty important. So, you know, let's check on a couple of these monster riders in particular. I wanted to see how Taco was doing. Somebody was just asking me about him. And yeah, maybe I should put it in the right place before I start typing. If you see Taco pop up in the comments, it's because I don't know what I'm doing here. God, can you imagine if I did a show like this back when I was drinking? I'm not sure what we'd have on the screen right now, but Amy would never trust it would be the map. So there's Taco and Rob. They've partnered up, and they are riding along. They're doing fine. Let's see. As I zoom out, I like to see people I know. There's Hippie. As we get out, they're heading across Arkansas into Oklahoma into the Cherokee Nation. Again, that is a beautiful, beautiful area to be riding right now. I mean, that is just something to see. There's Raindrop right there. Look how good she's doing. She's already passed all that, you know, because they got to go way out and around and work their way down and come back. And, you know, there's a lot of banging around that goes on here to get to where Dirty Dan is right there. I mean, here's how, you know, see, got to get an idea of where they're heading. I don't know the roads, but they're doing a great job of getting there. But I think everybody you see here past Raindrop, these people, in my opinion, you know, I think like Frosty, I think is going to be very close. I realistically think, you know, it's going to be right in here, you know, is where it'll be. I'm not 100% sure. It might be back here, but where Rob is, when he checked on him, that Hippie, they're going to be dang close to making the party. That's where I think it's going to be if they keep the pace up. Hippie's no spring chicken. You know, he's up there and he's out there killing it. So that's pretty badass. Awesome. I like it. Let's see. I can't read this, so I'll put it up on the thing. Take the labels off and look at the circles. Lots of riders grouped together. It sure is. This is the time that they group together because they're tired. They need companionship. They need another human being in their life because they've been isolated now for 10 days from the world. And not everybody, because some people take time to make videos and you know, spend a lot of time, you know, on the phone doing whatever and, you know, not riding full bore. So there's that. But what's that goat? A bunch of his monsters know the South route really good because they live here. That is so true. They do have a foot up on that. This is our goat Gavin talking about it. And a lot of these riders are coming through Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and, you know, into Mississippi, areas they live, areas they ride in all the time. So they know the terrain. They know where the popos hit. They know all of the good stuff. So let's get back to rally talk. What do you got planned for tomorrow? Any plans?
Yeah, it's a burnout contest tomorrow night.
Anything happening during the day?
We're going to Montana.
Montana. Yeah. Montana is a long ways from the rally. So what's going on in Montana?
Going to a bar.
Going to a bar.
Yeah,
it's Tuesday and a lot going on in Montana.
Yeah,
on a Tuesday. There's a lot of judging. I don't like to be judgy, but there is a contest. There will be judging up at Topless Tuesday at the rally. So a lot of people.
We rallying.
Yeah. So maybe if we're gonna be up there, should we do the show from Montana tomorrow? We take the show on the road and do it in Montana, and the whole background will be blurry. Like here we're in, nothing about the hockey. Just you'd be able to tell by the cheering and clapping, but
the editing team's gonna be working overtime.
yeah, that's funny. But then tomorrow, Dylan's got his bike in a burnout contest. So that's tomorrow night, right? Yep. So that's good. And it's not that bike. He won't be doing a burnout on the Trail 70.
It'll do her.
Yeah, and that's the bike that Dylan was nice enough to give me a ride on. So a couple years ago, I rode bitch on Dylan's bike through the campground here, and I thought we were going to crash going over the hill. And I thought, well, it's going to be a great story how I ended up broken while I was not holding on to Dylan. So
Your legs are wrong, man.
I did. I had to hang on. It was the best thing I could do, but it was fun. But anyhow, Dylan's going to do a burnout contest on his chopper tomorrow, and he's hoping to win a free tire. They don't even have a free tire anymore?
I don't even care if I win. I got an extra tire.
Yeah, no. But is there a prize for a prize?
$500, I think.
So you win $500 if you do it.
Tire.
Yeah, he's ready too. I think it's really good. So
Be a good time.
yep, that was pretty good. So that was good. And Jack thought you guys are crazy, and that night was so fun. Did we have Jack at Topless Tuesday? Oh, you're talking about the burnout we did with Jack on the back. My bad.
Oh.
Jack did think we were crazy. One of
He
our
did.
boys from Ireland,
Yeah.
I put him on the back of my bike, and I told him that bikers have to warm up their tire before they can race. So I asked him if he wanted to help warm up the tire. And Jack is, real nice. And he's like, yeah, I'll warm up your tire. And then he got on the back of my bike, and we proceeded just to do a burnout. And, he was digging it, but it was a bit loud and a bit scary. And, but he
Too
laughed.
much.
Yeah, he had a great time. I'll dig that picture up. I got that on my
that's a
Google
good
Photos. I'll have
picture.
to get that for tomorrow. So that'll be fun. But everybody is doing really good. Has anybody got a number? Anybody they want me to check before we're gone? It's really getting down to pinch time. Day 10 is hard on these riders mentally. If you got somebody that's out there and they're done tonight, you see them stop, you're watching them, you're wondering about, just send them a text, because there's going to be a ton of people who have really been giving it their all, and they're really, really excited about it. And now they're realizing they're not going to make it to the finish line. It's mentally draining on them. It's a letdown. People are sad by it. So if you got a rider out there giving it their all, she's in Wisconsin, Terry. So this earlier in the day, I was thinking where Terry was kind of the cutoff of where I thought people could, of course, in my opinion, if they kept it up, where they're going to make it, if they could make the line. But I don't even know if it's that with how many days we have left. I kind of don't think so. Right now, I think Hyde up that high is going to be about where it's at. And, so it's fun, but that doesn't take away from any of these other riders. And if they're not going to make the party, that's not the judge of if they gave 100%. So just keep that in mind when you're looking, when you're seeing somebody go in. That doesn't mean they didn't give 100%. Not everybody's 100% is going to be the same. And you don't know what they're going through at a personal level. You don't know if they have a fight they're fighting that you have no idea about. There could be a rider out here that we won't know for a long time. There could be somebody out here that's fighting cancer, somebody that has some disease, somebody whose family found out they got terrible bad news. Whatever that is, they could be fighting that without anybody knowing, because they choose to keep it to themselves. They keep their fight private. And you may find out about that, but if you're all judgy about where they finished, how they did, and then you find that out later, you're going to feel like shit. And you're going to realize that, man, not only was I wrong, but they are super badass. And they go from one level of what you thought to the complete opposite. So, when somebody can't make it in, that doesn't necessarily mean they shouldn't have been here. it means they gave it their all, and their all wasn't going to cut it for this year's route. That's really all it is. So, where was the other one that had some 1286? 1286. Then we got to check on Big Balls Matt too. So there is
1280.
Bandit. Oh,
1280.
1286. Oh, we'll check on Bandit. You know, I typed the wrong one. So there's Smokey and the Bandit. And I tell you what, I'm going to have a talk with him. I'm going to send him a text that at least during showtime, he's got to know how to follow his wife. So it says Smokey and the Bandit instead of, it looks like the Bandit's chasing Smokey. Like what kind of operation they running here where the bad guys are chasing the Popo. So I don't know, but I got to tell him that at least we're going to be reeling it in. He's got to do that. So
Bigfoot retreat.
okay, yeah, he said the Bigfoot, so there's few people would be happy about that. So what did we say? 1286. 1286. There's Teach. I just saw Teach. He was oh, there he goes. He's on the River Road too, the Great River Road, the border of Mississippi, the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin right here, the Mississippi River. It's a really cool area right there. So they really get to see a lot of fun places, and you get to see, you know, really the beginnings of the Mississippi, which is kind of fun, and how it goes up, and then it kind of changes a little bit, and you're to some different rivers, but you can follow them and you'll see all about it. And Big Balls Matt, I'll check him. Oops. Wish I could just change his name for him. Big Balls Matt is on 161 Farm Country, just living it up. Where's he at here? Missouri. So he's in Missouri, working his way down into Arkansas, and then coming around. So, you know, is he going to make it to the finish line on the 14th? This is where I said the line was. You know, my guess somewhere in there, people that are at, you know, the Bella Vista area. But I, for one, I'm not betting against Big Balls Matt. If anybody's impressed me enough to earn a little respect for where they're at, it's him. So we just checked Terry. Let's see, anybody else?
1294. B-Rad.
All right. And let's check on Harley too. She's riding with Siggy, so we're going to get two at the same time. 1273. Harley. I'm sure she's with Siggy, and I am right. And they're getting gas, picked a good time. Right now they're drinking some water, talking about what a crummy looking place this is. I have no idea. But let's see. It's funny because we were by there before when we checked on somebody. That's so weird because both groups go by at different days, but I don't remember where anything was. They're outside of Nashville. Again, incredibly hilly, mountainous country. And it's, you know, a lot of riding through there is just technical. So I tell you what, like these people that are riding trikes and things like that, God, what a beatdown trying to steer those things around. 18,000 corners. No thanks. 1294. 1294 is B-Rad. B-Rad is in Wisconsin. Which part of Wisconsin will be the determining factor? Imagine that he's a Circle K. They're at every corner, like a Dollar General nowadays. Let's see. Yep, he's at, you know, the midway point. I don't know. I would like to hope that could get there by the end, but I think that's going to be a tough sell to get there from here. And that's where Tomcat is as well. So Tomcat, who had a really good setback right out of the gate. You know, there's a popular group because, you know, that's 3 or 4 that people have asked for right here. So kickstand. So we got to check Frosty.
Yes.
I think.
Yep. See where she's at.
You ready for bed yet?
No.
No, because I am. What time did you get up today?
5:30.
5:30.
I'm going to
Yuck.
Quiet Riot.
Tonight?
Not so Quiet Riot.
Oh. Riot's going to be quiet tonight. We're going to be at 2 different places. 2 different places. This Riot's going to be quiet. She's going to Quiet Riot. It won't be so quiet. So there's Johnson. Value and Frosty are hanging out with a Johnson.
Okay. Where are they?
They're on a road that's in the middle of nowhere without many people around them.
I see that.
Where are they coming to? Where are they going?
Springfield.
Oh, I think I think it's Missouri.
They're in Missouri.
Yep. This is where we were looking where the people were kind of close. Like I have no idea why Maxie is down there and everybody else is up top. So I'm not really sure. I see things like that. I think somebody missed a turn. You know, like they're not going the same direction. So, but Maxie's car looks like it's heading north. So, you know, it could be just somebody just off, a little off track. And it's much easier at the beginning to see mistakes than it is now. Is Nancy getting close to the checkpoint? It'd be pretty cool if we could, during a show, see two people get to a checkpoint. But I think she's a hot minute away. The Ozarks are a great ride. I don't have any idea. I'm not familiar with the Ozarks this time of year. Do they have like stupid traffic because of the you know, all the tourism and tourists gathered around the Ozarks? That place is pretty busy. You ever been to the Ozarks riding?
I have not.
You haven't?
Nope.
Why not? You guys aren't that far away. Get that chopper down there.
We're in South Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, but another time of year. You got time now.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, you got time now.
now we do, but
Yeah. Yeah, and here's we're talking about here's Dooley here, who did a 5K with their boy Brody. This is what we were talking about earlier today.
did we get it done?
Yeah, you missed the noon because you were busy, but at noon we were talking about this where he ran the race. I tried to get a picture loaded here, but it didn't work. But you know, he was doing the 5K and with the attachment for his chair that we put on the front. So he's got a wheel on the front with a battery pack, and I don't know, that thing went like that thing went a long ways on a charge. So you know, he's only going to get braver and braver with that thing. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. They're on day like 222.
Yeah, and these guys, this is the guys running 7 miles a day for the year. They're on day 222. So for 222 days, two guys have ran, you know, 7 miles a day apiece, and two girls have ridden a motorcycle every day.
Unreal.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I can't imagine doing anything for 222 days straight, even if it's something I really like. Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I forget how many miles that Dooley. How many miles you at so far? Because it was a lot. Like there are days that these crazy people ran 17 miles. You know, 4th of July ran 17 miles,
Well, they were way
17.76 miles.
If I had to run that, it would be 7 miles.
Yeah, not one step more.
Not
I'd be
one
like,
step.
click.
Okay, I'm done.
I could do the 75 hard. And you got to work out for 45 minutes. I'd have a timer of 45 minutes, and
Okay, it's done.
man, I'd look at it like 10 seconds. I'd keep going, and a millisecond that was done. The first tone of noise I heard in the alarm, I'd be like, "That's it, peace out." So that's great. All right.
Good
Anybody
for
else got
them.
anything else here? Because I'm starving. I'm about ready to eat. I just got an alarm on my thing that Monster Monday's coming up, but we've combined that so we don't have to get together again at 7. You got anything you want to add? You got any other news you want to talk about?
I have no
It was
other.
already 7 Central.
Yeah, but my alarm's on East Coast. My phone's on East Coast time, so it's just coming up right now.
This is coming up now.
So my phone thinks I'm on the East Coast. They think it's 6 o'clock on the East Coast right now. So I think that's kind of funny. I don't know how anything works. I
We'll
think
be
that's
back to normal next week.
is just short of 2,000 miles for the year, running 2,000 miles. Like that's just a long ways to put in a grasp. So look at how long it takes these riders to go 2,000 miles through these twisty roads, and they're doing it on foot. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to try to do one of the shows from the road. We're going to get some recaps on who's made the checkpoint, who's checking out. We'll get a number of people that are still in it. And again, man, be tuned in because they're going to be tuning out, and they're going to be riders. I've said this for 3 days now. Come Thursday. So you got tomorrow and Wednesday. And I think on Thursday, you're going to start a mass exodus. They're going to be going because people had it in their head. Oh, in 2024, we were done in 9 days. And so they thought it would be the same this time. So they take 2 weeks off. They can go to the party. They get done. They'll for sure be done on the 14th day. And then they'll go to the party. And then they can get home. Some of them are planning on riding home on Sunday, going to work on Monday. That plan is not going to happen for a shit ton of people that was their plan. And I interviewed people. I talked to people about their expectations and what they thought they were going to do, and how many people wanted to be in the top 10, how many wanted to be top 20, who had a dream of winning it. So I think it's really fun to watch this now that reality is hitting them on day 10. And right now, they're probably, if they ever listen to this, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that was me that said, oh, yeah, I want to be in the top 10. And, you know, they're in the bottom third or whatever the case is. So, you know, it's fun to watch reality hit. And, you know, it's all good. Let's see. Check these one more time. Yeah, Chad, if you head out right now, you got time to make it to Montana.
Yeah, come
So
meet us, Chad.
oh, I do got to talk about a couple things on a personal note and a much sadder note. This is the anniversary that Pinto passed away in the Hokahay in 2020. It happened on a corner in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. A lot of us have been back there multiple times to pay tribute to that. That was on this very day during this very event. So I often think about that and how real it is. And Pinto was one of those guys that had a huge heart. I didn't get a lot of opportunity to ride with him. Pinto and I were not best friends by any means, but he was the kind of person that when you connected with him, for 5 seconds, you became friends. Like, he was that kind of guy. He had a huge heart, a very charitable dude. He got a haircut for charity. You know, he was a rockin' hippie and, you know, cut it all off for charity. He did some, you know, really epic rides. He did those for charity, did them with a lot of charitable people. I miss that dude, and I did not know him how I wished I would have. And, you know, when I go back to where that happened, that cross, and it's a very special place to a lot of Hokahay riders. And there's a lot of riders that did not even have the opportunity to meet him that go there and pay tribute. And that says a lot for somebody's legacy, what they left behind, and the kind of person they were when they were here, and how they lived their life. He lived at large, a fast pace, and with a big heart. And that to me is my kind of dude. So, you know, that was one of the things that I wanted to mention tonight. And the other one is Jug's dad passed away 2 years ago today. And I went to lunch with his mom today and gave her a hug. She's been coming to Sturgis how many years? 34 years in a row they've been coming to Sturgis. And, you know, he passed away at Sturgis 2 years ago. So for Danny to be out here at this rally at that time, you know, the same time, and be there, you know, it was a touching time. And, you know, I got to hear some stories about him today, and I saw some pictures, and I thought I had my sticker, but I think I left it in my other backpack. But I'll load that up because I actually want to show a picture of it. So I'll have that loaded up tomorrow, because I looked at the picture of Jug's dad, who was a ginormous guy, just a big dude, a big guy, a muscular guy, a really big, thick dude. But I looked at that and I thought, I saw Jug in that picture. When I looked at Jug, is a very fit Army looking dude. He looks militant. He's retired Army, but he looks like he's a fit Army guy. And when I saw his dad, you know, I saw Jug in him. So I told his mom that I see Jug just like if Jug would gain 50 pounds and have a bigger face and everything, it looked like him. So I really did see that. And talking to her about Jug's dad, you know, at Sturgis, how he just had a larger than life personality, and, you know, he was the life, and he was a big, ginormous, muscular dude, and, you know, worked at a jail, and, you know, he had to take care of juveniles in a detention center. So he was a big guy, and he was a problem solver. They sent him in when there was something going on, and it was the end of the problem. So, But it's fun hearing the stories. She emailed me some stories of their 34 years of coming to Sturgis. So Denver Woods had her on his podcast, and she gave him a list of things that has taken place over 34 years of coming here. So she emailed me that list, and I thought that was really nice.
That was an awesome podcast.
Yeah, and she's a really what did she say, milepost 161, I think. But if you look that up, check that out, because it's a
awesome.
good one, and I'll get a link for that. I'll take the time and find a link, and I'll get that posted to everybody. But that was the touching side of today. You know, and it makes the Hokahay, the reality of what they're doing out there, you know, really hit. And I remember that day that Pinto passed like it was yesterday. That is burned in my memory bank. I can tell you right where I was, who called me, what happened. It happened behind me, you know, what went through my mind, everything about it like it was yesterday. So Buffy, his girl, is still massively involved in the Hokahay and is around. She is family. And so hugs to you, Buffy, for dealing. Everything you got to go through today is no joke. And I know every year that comes up, you know, there's the memories that burn. And, you know, there she just commented that, you know, it's a rough day. But we said at lunch today when we were talking to Jug's mom and talking about, you know, Pinto and Jeffrey, Jug's dad, that people die twice, you know, when they die and the day that people stop talking about them. So that's when they truly die. So until that day comes, these two guys that we were celebrating today, you know, they're still here. So with that, I think I'm gonna end it. So anything, Dad? Dylan, we need a thumb. Dylan always gives us a thumb to end things. So I would just want to thank you all for sharing the time, you know, this hour of monsters and our heroes and all of the Hokahay people, and paying some tribute to a couple of those souls that are no longer able to do what we do at way too young of an age. So it's just a special time. So remember, these guys out there on this ride are giving it their all, and their all is at risk of great, you know, there's a lot of risk, great risk that happens. So with that, we're out of here. I thank everybody for, you know, the support and for sharing what we do, sharing our show, letting people know about the Hokahay, about Mile Monsters, and about our heroes and how kick-ass those kids are and how we're helping them live their best life. So anything else? You have fun tomorrow.
Yes.
Peace.
Have a good week.